What is going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be going through my way too early ACC predictions for the 2025 college football season. In this video, I'm basically going to power rank every ACC team for next season. And just for you guys' information, I am doing this video before I have dig deep into the schedules or these rosters. So this is more speculating, and that is why it is way too early. But let's start off all the way at the bottom of my ACC rankings for 2025. And at number 17, I have Wake Forest. New head coach Jake Dickert really has a lot of work to do with this team, but he did have a solid transfer portal class. The quarterback room does not look good though, even with the addition of Robbie Ashford, and I just don't think this Wake Forest team is going to be good at all. They lost head coach Dave Clawson, and they also have a new head coach heading into next season, and they are just not that talented. I think they will be the worst team in the ACC. At number 16, I have Virginia. Virginia was on track to making a bowl game last season, but they lost 6 of their last 7 games. They haven't done an excellent job in the recruiting trail, and head coach Tony Elliott has a lot of work to do with this team, and I don't see them taking that step forward to make a bowl game next season. They have an interesting quarterback in Chandler Morris from North Texas. He had a lot of passing yards for North Texas in 2025, but I'm just not expecting this Virginia team to be that good. Virginia really doesn't have great depth, so I am not expecting them to do much. This may be a hot take, but I only have Pittsburgh at number 15. Pittsburgh was a solid team in 2024, but they really fell off. They lost their last 6 games. They will have quarterback Eli Holston back for next season. He's definitely a name to watch out for, but I do expect Pittsburgh to continue trending downhill. They had a terrible end to the 2024 season, and they lost to Toledo. And I'm not expecting Pitt to make another bowl game. I think they will take a step back. I only have them at number 15. At number 14, I have Boston College. They've been okay the last 2 years, and Thomas Castellanos really helped them out, but they did lose a very good quarterback in Thomas Castellanos. But this team does not have a talented roster, and they really don't have a historically good team. I think they will take a bit of a step back next season. Losing Thomas Castellanos is going to hurt them, and I only have them at number 14. Number 13, I have NC State. I think NC State could be a surprise team next year and maybe get back to winning games because of who Dave Doran is. NC State has had their down seasons before, but usually they are consistently winning 8 to 9 football games. But to be honest, I'm not expecting them to take a step forward. I think they'll kind of be in the same place, maybe take a step back. They've been a solid program for years, but they have to replace good players on both sides of the ball, and they have a whole new coaching staff. We'll see if CJ Bailey takes a step forward at quarterback, but I don't expect this team to be great. I only have them at number 13. And of course, I should also mention that they lost their top offensive player in KC Concepcion, a very talented wide receiver. So yeah, I'm not expecting NC State to be great. Now at number 12, I have Stanford. I think they will finally take a step forward and get over that 3-9 curse. I believe they have went 3-9 like 3 or 4 years in a row. But next year, they will have a young quarterback in Elijah Brown, who I actually have high expectations for. And they have a very young team. They have a bunch of young players who stepped up this year, but this team will only get better. I believe the defense took a bit of a step forward in 2024. They had their bad showings, and obviously they only won 3 games. But this team had a high earlier in the season, beating Syracuse. And I do still believe there is hope for this team to take a step forward and make a bowl game because they are very young. And they have some young players returning next year. They will return a lot. So I'm going to make the bold prediction. I have Stanford at number 12. I think they will take a step forward. A lot of people would probably rank North Carolina higher, but I only have them at number 11. I think people are putting too much hope in Bill Belichick to be this game changer for North Carolina in year 1 as the head coach. But in my opinion, North Carolina was a pretty bad ACC team in 2024, and they had a very easy schedule and barely made a bowl game. I really don't expect this team to be great next year. They will have some transfer portal new faces, but I'm just not expecting them to be great because of the roster. And I think they will struggle once again. I only have them at number 11, even though they did hire Bill Belichick. And they also lose an NFL talent in Amarion Hampton at running back. That's going to be a huge loss. I'm just not expecting this team to be as good as people think they will be. Number 10, I have Florida State. They fell off a cliff last season. They only won 2 football games. But now they're in full rebuild mode. I do think Mike Novell can get this team back on track, and they have a new staff. They hired Gus Malzahn. I think he'll be a good offensive coordinator. And Tony White was a great hire at defensive coordinator. This team is still very talented with great recruiting. They also do very well in the transfer portal. Thomas Castellano should be a much better quarterback for them in 2025. There's no reason for me to believe that this team will just stay down at the bottom of the ACC. They are just too talented. I expect them to take a step forward, and I think they could get back to being a top team in the ACC in a couple of years. And maybe they do that in 1 year, but they do have a lot of bouncing back to do. I only have them at number 10. Number 9, I have Duke. They were a solid team in 2024, but they really had an easy schedule, and I think they were a bit overrated. But I do think the defense remains strong, and Manny Diaz is a solid head coach, and Darian Mensah could be an upgrade at quarterback from Malik Murphy. But I honestly kind of expect this team to be in the same place. Maybe they're a dark horse contender for the ACC title, but I am only putting Duke at number 9. I think they'll be solid, but not super good. At number 8, I have Syracuse, and I'm kind of thinking of Syracuse the same way as Duke. They had a pretty easy schedule in 2024. They were better than Duke. They were a solid team. But next year, they lose a lot of talent, including quarterback Kyle McCord. And I don't see them repeating that success they had in the passing game. And I expect them to take a step back because they had major losses at multiple key positions. They were one of the surprises of last season, winning 10 football games, but I don't expect them to carry that over. Syracuse is usually not a super consistent team. And I think teams around them are also getting better as well. I think Syracuse will be solid again. Fran Brown is a good coach, but I'm only putting them at number 8. I don't think they'll compete for an ACC title. Number 7, I have Virginia Tech. I think they'll be decent next year. They do return quarterback Kyron Jones. Maybe they will be a surprise team next year. A lot of people were expecting them to be a surprise team in 2024, but that didn't really happen. But they do return some pieces next year, and they do have Kyron Jones back. He is a good quarterback. I don't think this team has high expectations, but I do think they will take a bit of a step forward and be better. They have some promising pieces returning. I think the defense is in solid hands. They just need to start the season better and be more consistent. And I have them at number 7. Now, this is really going to be a hot take for some people, but I have California at number 6. California was a very weird team in 2024. The defense took a step forward. If you put their 2023 offense with their 2024 defense, this team could have been a contender for the ACC title. But in 2024, they did not have great offensive production, even with Mendoza at quarterback. The run game completely fell off. Jaden Ott was not who we expected him to be, and the offensive line really struggled. But they do have some pieces coming in from the portal. Despite losing Fernando Mendoza, they will replace him with the Hawaiian quarterback or Devin Brown, who I think could be really solid as well from Ohio State. So I think they'll be set in the quarterback play. I think the defense will be solid again, and I think the offense can take a step forward. They've added some solid pieces out of the portal, and they are recruiting very well. This team has made a bowl game the last 2 years, but next season I think they take a bit of a step forward and do more than just make a bowl game. I have California at number 6. And this is one of my bold takes for the ACC, but I don't necessarily see them competing for the ACC title. But as we move into the top 5, I think all 5 of these teams have a realistic chance to win the ACC next season. And at number 5, I have SMU. I think they'll be really good again, but I don't see them making the ACC title again. They had a super easy schedule in 2024 that favored them. But this team is definitely going to be in the mix with Kevin Jennings back at quarterback. He could be a dark horse Heisman candidate, but he really crumbles in big stages against good teams, so he really needs to work on improving in the big stages. I think the defense will be in good hands again, and they use the portal very well. Now watch out for a guy like Chris Johnson on offense. I think he could possibly be a breakout running back for them. I think SMU will be a good team, and I have them at number 5. Number 4, I have Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech did lose their top 2 wide receivers, but they have done an excellent job in the portal. And Brent Key has this team heading in the right direction. They are recruiting at a very good level. I think they're among the top in the ACC. I think Brent Key is one of the best head coaches in the ACC, and I think Georgia Tech is going to continue to get better. And when you have a guy like Haynes King back at quarterback, anything is possible. Haynes King is a very good dual-threat quarterback, and he gives this team a chance, and I think they're going to be really good and a sneaky ACC title contender next year. I really like this Georgia Tech team heading into next season, and I have them at number 4. Number 3, I have Miami. I think they will just miss out on the ACC title once again. I'm expecting this team to be very good again. They are very talented and one of the most talented teams in the country. Carson Beck should be a good quarterback, but I do think he will be a step back from Cam Ward. The only way I see this team taking that step forward and making the ACC title is if they can improve on defense. Corey Heatherman was a decent hire at defensive coordinator, and they've added some decent pieces in the secondary. But I honestly do not trust Mario Cristobal. I think Miami will be really good again, but I don't think they will make the ACC title. And I only have them at number 3. Now at number 2, I have Louisville. I think they're going to be a sneaky team next year, and I think they sneak their way into the ACC title. Jeff Brom has had a consistently good team and a very good offense over the last couple of years. But now they got their best quarterback since Lamar Jackson and Miller Moss. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback for them. Obviously, he's not near the same level as Lamar Jackson, but Miller Moss could be a top 15, maybe top 10 quarterback in the nation. I think Louisville will have a very good offense, and I think the defense will be solid again. Jeff Brom is one of the best at using the transfer portal, and I think it will finally pay off for them. I think this will be his best team yet, and I like this team to make the ACC title, and I have them at number 2. But I can't pick Louisville to win the ACC because at number 1, I have Clemson. I think this team is going to be a top 10, maybe top 5 team in the country. They are very talented. I think Clemson is the odds-on favorite to win the ACC. If Clemson doesn't win the ACC, there would have to be a major fall-off in my opinion, because this team returns just about everybody and a very good quarterback in Cade Klubnik. They have some very good receivers returning. That includes Antonio Williams, Bryant Wesco, and TJ Moore. And also, not to mention, Dabo Swinney is finally using the portal, and they got a very good defensive coordinator in Tom Allen from the Penn State Nittany Lions. This Clemson team, maybe they're a dark horse national title contender. I am very high on them. Dabo Swinney has won national titles before. He's a very good head coach. And I think Clemson is the odds-on favorite to win the ACC next season. I have them at number 1. But anyways, that is going to do it for my ACC predictions for 2025. You guys let me know your predictions down in the comments below. But let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. And also consider checking out my socials down in the description below. But that is going to do it, guys, and peace out.